Good afternoon and good evening. And just so you know, we are recording this. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do so. We have so many resources and webinars and conference meetings and lectures from the days. We've been doing this since 2019 over Zoom. So please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us there. Okay, I think I've gone over some of the boring stuff when it comes to this. So let's get started. Please leave your questions in the Q&A or the chat, and I'll be monitoring those for our speaker today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Chris Permasio, and happy to say a part of the incredible OHANA, that is the International Surf Therapy Organization, a global movement dedicated to proving, promoting, and protecting surf therapy as an evidence-based mental health intervention. And our most significant value add in the sector is bringing people together. So we're bringing back our webinars in 2025. And we're starting with the brilliant and beautiful Jada Alexander. Jada, welcome. She embodies our mission with every wave she rides and every challenge she faces. Jada Alexander is a marine scientist, an entrepreneur, and the visionary founder of Daybreak Beach Club, a space where surfing meets STEM, holistic wellness, environmental stewardship. And she's led novel coral reef research in French Polynesia. And Jada, we want to hear a little bit more about the French Polynesia. She's dedicated herself to strengthening the connection between people in the ocean by building on existing wisdom and her lived experiences. As the founder of Daybreak Beach Club, she's helping expand surf therapy's impact and making these practices more accessible. But like many of us, Jada also knows that doing meaningful work doesn't mean it's easy. She's here today to hold space for the hard questions. How do we sustain ourselves while leading change? How do we stay grounded in the work we love when the weight of the world feels heavy? Jada brings not only her expertise, but her honesty. Her words remind us that the way things have always been done isn't necessarily the way forward, and that sometimes the most radical thing we can do is keep showing up as we are. Yes, my friend Jada, preach. Those are Jada's words. All right, let's dive in. Please welcome Jada Alexander.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up today and taking this hour out of your day to be here. I want to start by just taking a breath, all of us together, taking a moment to breathe in and breathe out. All right, let's get started. So, I met a lot of wonderful people at the ISTO conference a few months ago, and if you don't remember me from that time, I was the person with Mr. Loki over here. He was our group therapy dog, and if you weren't there, it's wonderful to meet you. My name's Shada. I'm from San Diego, and I'm the founder of Daybreak Beach Club. So my journey with the outdoors started when I was really young. Honestly, I would think at first I was 6 months old when I was at the beach. And as I grew up, my parents really instilled in me the importance of spending time outside to have fun. But as I grew older, I started to face racial issues at school and bullying. And all of these things were just really hard for me to get through. But thanks to my relationship with the natural world, I had somewhere to go to get all of that energy out. And it felt like that was my safety and my solace and like my reason for continuing. And so I learned as many different sports as I could, definitely the master of none. But it's so fun to try all of the different things, so worth it. And so when it was time for me to apply to college, my parents always told me, do what you're passionate about, do what you can do for the rest of your life, do what's fun. And for me, I thought, okay, well, something that I love is the outdoors, but also the outdoors have given so much to me. I wouldn't be here without it. And therefore, like, I deserve to dedicate my career to helping the environment because we are in a crisis right now. And so I went to UCSB, and there I took a bunch of different avenues towards environmentalism and healing through the ocean. And so at first, I started being an educator. I would go and I would teach at elementary schools and middle schools, and then I would also teach peers in college. I would take, excursion trips and lead people rock climbing and surf trips. And I absolutely fell in love with that. And I was constantly thinking, like, how are we going to get people to care about the environmental crisis that we're in? Because it's really bad. And I was really interested in being hands-on and seeing what was going on in the ocean. And so I also did a lot of marine science research. And I first went to Moorea, French Polynesia, and I was at the UC Gump Station. And for my first project there, I studied the impacts that anthropogenic stressors are having on coral reefs, but more so, we determined how we can use trait-based ecology and marine ecosystems to make defining what stressors are harming the reefs easily so that people that are in the local community can do it themselves without other people having to come in and do it. And I would go and present that research, and I got to meet so many people around the world. And during this time, I started to become just fatigued, and I didn't know what to do, but I just knew that I wasn't in alignment with myself because nothing felt good anymore, even though I was doing what I loved. And so while I continued to do research, and I went back the following year to do research studying the how to increase resilience for Passalopra coral and Morea. When I came back, I decided that was it. And I put a cold turkey stop on what I was doing research wise in June of 2024. And I noticed that I needed to take a step back and re-examine why I was doing any of this in the first place. And then I looked to why I was here. I was here because the ocean provided me a space for healing. I was there because I was interested in what was going on within the ocean and how I can be of help. And I was there because I found community there in the outdoors. And I was just thinking, I don't know. There are so many people that do not have access or the ability to do all of these different things in the outdoors. And I do. And I don't know what I would do without it. And so it's my duty, it's my responsibility to be able to share this experience with other people. And so I created Daybreak Beach Club, founded in April 2024. And at this time, I was still in college. And so I had 3 months left before graduation, but I had decided that instead of going into a job that I wasn't sure about, or I knew that I wanted to start this daybreak thing, some point in my life, and I realized that there is no better time to do it than now. Even though it does sound absolutely crazy to start a business while you're in college. Um, and so since then, Daybreak has had the opportunity to create partnerships and relationships with Patagonia, Black Girl Environmentalists, UCLA, Scripps, and much more. And it's been very beautiful. And we've been able to meet so many kids and adults that our programs have impacted. But it honestly always felt like it wasn't enough. Like there's always something more you have to do. There's always there's always extra expectations that you have of yourself. And so I personally was so exhausted. I was tired. I didn't feel like I had any drive to continue doing what I am so passionate about. But I know if I think of, okay, let me pivot, what else would I do? There is nothing else. Like this is plan A, there's no plan B. And there's so many reasons to why one would say like I wouldn't be here, but because I've followed what my heart or what my gut has told me, it's why I've got here. So I looked for resources that would help me through this of having my own personal hardships, trying to create a, nonprofit and a business and also be happy and take care of myself. And I was talking with one of my professors at University of California, Santa Barbara about that. Her name is Summer Gray. And she actually recommended that I read this book called Emergent Strategy. And it's by a person named Adrienne Ray Brown. And it is one of the most inspiring books that I have ever read. I highly recommend it to everybody. I think it's most relevant now with all of the things that are going on in the world. But also, personally, and being in this space, I think that we need to be able to think in ways that aren't normal, ways that things normally wouldn't be done, because that's when things start to work. So, I'm going to talk about a few of the lessons that I learned from this book. And one of the first ones was don't make something new, make something better. And I'm just going to let us take a second to sit with that. So, when I first started Daybreak, there are all of these different aspects. There's the STEM aspect, there's the surf therapy aspect, there's the holistic wellness. Um, and all of those are things that people have been doing for years and years and years that I have had the opportunity to learn from. And so I'm able to pull together all of the resources, all of the people that I've met that are already specialists in these different fields. And I'm able to talk with them and make a community of people that are able to come together and to support this cause. And I think that community is one of the most important things that we have when you are trying to make a difference. The second thing is if you feel the call in your body, you need to listen to it. An example that the book gave was birds, they don't think about what funding they need. They don't save food, figure out the pit stops that they're going to need to make during their migration. They feel it in their body and they do it, whether it makes sense or not. And they do it together. And I feel like that is exactly where we need to be. Um, for me personally, being a recent college graduate, I received a lot of feedback about why I shouldn't create Daybreak or why I should wait a few years or why I didn't have um, enough experience or enough to say to where I should like let other people take the lead. And I heard that and I listened to it and I did it anyway because I knew that I was going to feel that feeling of living out of alignment when nothing feels right if I didn't do it. And that is something that I've taken with me every single day. Like if I know that I really want to go surf, but I have something else that I need to do, but I know that surfing is going to be more important for my health. If you just take a moment and you listen, you know exactly which one you should do. Another lesson from the book is the reasons that you feel like you don't belong are the exact reasons that you're meant to be there. For me, again, I have no formal business training. I still have my own mental health issues. I'm 21 years old, but for that reason, I'm able to create an organization that does things completely differently. I've been reading Patagonia. I've been reading the book Let My People Surf by Yvonne Chouinard, which is a very beautiful book. And one of the points that he made was he was a very reluctant businessman, and he would have, cried years before to hear that he was the businessman of a multi-million dollar company. But because he had that perspective, that gave him the lens of doing things differently. So his priority wasn't turning a profit. His priority was making a working environment where he could leave 3 months out of the year to go backpacking or to go climbing. And that became the company's energy. And that eventually translated into their clothes and into their workers and into the people that became a part of that community, such as myself 60 years later. And so I think whether you feel like, I think a lot of people call it imposter syndrome, but whether you think that you're not good enough for something or you shouldn't be doing something at some point in your life, you exactly where you are right now is what people need. That's what people need to hear. And that's why you are where you are. And so when making the little bio for this fireside chat, Chris and I were on Zoom for probably like an hour, just like, oh my God, like, what do we write? What's it going to be about? And I was just thinking of all of the things that it should be about. And then Chris said, actually, no, like, why don't you just make it about yourself? And I felt like that was a space where you are supposed to be vulnerable. You're able to be vulnerable. And this also relates to something that Adrienne Marie Brown wrote about in the book. So this is what I wrote, which is very vulnerable and honestly so surprising that it's out on the internet. My mom called me like a day later and she was like, oh my God, you reduced your antidepressants. And so I wrote, here's where I'm at. I've just reduced my antidepressants. I'm working to grow a startup. And to be honest, I am tired. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. I just really want to feel better while I'm doing it. And so if a few people could unmute yourself, just to say like how, maybe in one word, how did reading this make you feel?
I'd say Jada, seen. It gives me a sense of like I get to see you and you see us, and that vulnerability takes us to a different place, which is a beautiful space.
For me, very similar. It feels validating in the sense that it helps you remember that you're not the only person that's going through and feeling these things. And especially when it comes from somebody that holds your respect, which you do for me. I mean, you look at what you've done at such a young age, the way you think, it reminds you that these aren't completely debilitating. And there's ways through them, and there's ways, to your point, through community. And I think it really resonates.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I feel like I learned this from one of my mentors, but when you are most raw in your emotions and you're not putting any sugar on it, that is when you meet your true community, the people that don't react poorly to you saying something like this. Those are the people that you're supposed to be with and build with. And so I'm grateful that I have that community with you guys.
Jada,
Yes.
hi. I don't know if I'm supposed to raise my little electronic hand. I'm sorry, I'm sucky at that. Hi, everybody. So great to see faces and names Thank you for bringing us together. Just a quick response to what you just asked. It helped remind me that it doesn't ever all feel good, right? That just the reminder that it's the joy and the sorrow, the fear and the bliss and so thank you for that. It was a beautiful gift in the moment I read it. And I was like, okay, I can connect to this. So thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And kiss the dog, please.
I will.
I miss it.
I will. Thank you for sharing. And so I want us all to take a moment. Maybe you need a piece of paper, or maybe you're going to write on your computer or your notes app on your phone, but to write your own fireside chat bio. So the first step that I took was, okay, what is my current reality? The first thing that pops into your mind is what's honest. And so if everyone can take a moment to write that first part of the fireside chat. Oh, looks like right, tired, excited. Same. Um, okay, and then the second part is like to be honest. What is something that you really need to say out loud? So for me, it was to be honest, I'm tired. I am working to grow a startup, and the truth is I'm tired. And that saying that out loud, it feels like I'm releasing weight from my shoulders from being able to just say that honestly. And so maybe write something that you usually might soften or hide or sugarcoat to make it seem not as bad or just different than it normally is. Okay, perfect. And then the last part is, what I want. So what do you want? What's your hope, your need, your intention for your reality right now? Okay. We'll give another few moments for everyone to finish up. And then whoever feels comfortable and open to sharing, we would love to hear some of your guys's, I don't even know what to call it, some of your guys's truths. Okay, it looks like everyone is done. Anyone want to kick us off?
Yeah, this is a tough one because while you had us write this out and do this workshop, it's interesting because I think a part of me thought, well, it's just for me. So nobody's gonna see my disaster. But I'm gonna welcome and like yeah, I'm gonna be vulnerable. So here's where I'm at. Like many of us, I'm exhausted and overwhelmed and in a weird way, exhilarated about, the things that I'm doing. And my honest truth is, I'm poor and stressed by bank standards and rich by life standards. And this sounds like I am speaking at a US pageantry, but I really do want peace. And now all of these years of watching these ridiculous pageants, Miss America and Miss Universe and all those things, when they said, I want peace, I always thought that was the biggest cop out. And the truth is, coming from where the climate that we are in currently, or I am in currently, yes, I want peace.
I'll go.
And I'm just, go ahead. Oh, yay, go,
No,
Denise.
Chris, go.
No, I was gonna read some in the thing. I'd rather you speak.
Okay. So my to be honest is, I imagine a little bit different, the truth is that I'm too comfortable. And so this is very uncomfortable way of saying that. And I think that I have been guarding my peace. So I feel like I'm in a bubble. And now I'm like, well, what I could be doing more. And so it's like this interesting little space. So and it's unusual. I feel a little at odds with people that are so stressed and struggling. Different.
I'll go. I would say where I'm at, I'm uncertain. Like every day feels like I don't know what's gonna happen next. But at the same time, I love what I'm doing. Like you said, Jada, like I couldn't really imagine doing anything else, but it's definitely a hard journey because I'm always like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. And then yeah, my honest is I don't know if it's worth it, but I know it's worth it. But some days it's so tiring that I'm like, is this worth it? I could just do a 9 to 5 job. And then, but my hope is, continuing to put myself in places, like you said, listening to your body and following that feeling and staying in alignment, because at the end of the day, I know it's worth it for me. And there's things I'm interested in, but there's really nothing else I want to be doing. And even with all these like hard feelings, and it's interesting because we do something that's different, I feel like there's so much excitement, and you don't want to tell those people, oh my gosh, it's so hard, I have no idea like what I'm doing or what's happening next, because all my friends are like, that's so cool. I'm like, it's cool, but there's all this extra stuff that comes along with it.
I can go next as well. Here's where I'm at. For those of you who know me, I'm spinning around in a circle. I am, the opposite ends of the spectrum. So on one side, I will wear a business suit and then just pull it off, and then the wetsuit to work with the various nonprofits. I have board meetings with surfboards, and I have board meetings where we sit around and eat bagels and discuss why isn't the website working. So and all of that is in the span of like 6 hours. So it really is like go, 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 constantly moving. What do I need to say? To be honest, I'm a little scared because I find myself that has become my norm, and that's not what I want for myself. So a normal day would be 3 hours worth of sleep and just keep going. And yeah, I saw some people's eyes open wide at that. To just keep going. But then I'm scared because I'm like, at what point am I just going to hit that wall? And how do I tell myself and get to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to stop and seriously get myself to stop. And what I want is, like Chris said, is it's peace. When I was your age, my father used to, every weekend, he used to drag us up into the country and say, okay, we're just going to sit here up in the country and do nothing. And that was hell to me because I wanted to be with my friends. Now, oh my God, I would love to sit down next to a river or on the beach and just not talk to anybody just for like, 8 hours. That's what I would love to have. So yes, peace, peace.
Hi, everyone. I can go. I will say that normally I'm pretty upbeat for those of you who might know me. I will say that I'm probably in one of the roughest places I've been personally and professionally in a long time. Also, just to make clear, I am a federal employee in the United States who has, spent my career trying to better the mental health of our service members and veterans. And it is difficult being the enemy of the state right now. And so, to be honest, I'm trying to continue the good work we're doing and to lead our team through this time. But it has been a struggle and requiring a lot of self talk. And what I want is high hopes that things shift in a radical way and that they either slow down or change for the better. But I will echo Chris's sentiment about peace and really just want people to matter and be valued. And over. Thank you.
I
Chris,
just
do
want
you
to remind some of you that some people have chosen to put it in the chat. And so please take a moment to read through where people are at and their honesty. And, I know I'm speaking to the choir here, but I just want to remind us, definitions so that we can be really intentional with our actions. Burnout is the overuse, prolonged, and excessive stress that looks like this: fatigue, cynicism, reduced output, exhaustion, anxiety, depression, and irritability. So I just want to remind all of you, while we're feeling it in different ways from different sources, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's social media, maybe it's the climate of the country you happen to live in, maybe it's just your pet, dog and cat who aren't listening to you ever. Loki, no, just kidding. So I just want to remind all of you, please take a look at the chat because there's some really beautiful, beautiful sentiments in here and honest. Go ahead, Jada, it's on you now.
Right. I was just reading some of those. They are so, so beautiful and honest. And I'm very grateful to be able to see and hear your guys' truths. I don't know. There are very few rooms that I've been in where everybody has felt comfortable being that vulnerable. And that makes me very happy. And so back to the book, Adrienne Marie Brown really emphasizes the importance of radical honesty. And radical honesty is saying exactly how you feel without any sugarcoating, right? But the hardest part of radical honesty is not telling the small white lies that we tell every single day. Like for me, last week, I was having a really hard day. I was exhausted and I had to go into my other job. And I called out. And instead of saying, like, hey, I'm having a day where I need to just stay home from work, no context, I felt like I had to give some reason that they would think was valid for why I wasn't going to be there. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm sick. And there are small white lies that we tell every single day. And I think that they chip away at our truth and at our acknowledgement of where we are and our confidence in that we are where we're supposed to be. And so practicing radical honesty, which is something that I find from my time with ISTO at the conference came naturally to a lot of people. But I feel like it's always something that we can work on. So, a recap. Don't make something new, make something better. 2, feel the call in your body and make sure you listen to it. 3, the reason that you feel you don't belong are the reasons that you're meant to be there. And 4, practice radical honesty. It's permission to be you, and that is extremely powerful to you and to those around you. Alrighty, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me yap for 30 minutes. I have placed my email, as well as there's a QR code to Daybreak's Linktree, which you can go to our LinkedIn or Instagram website, and all of the things. And we're going to take a moment for questions, I believe. Chris.
Hi. There aren't as many questions yet, but there are still a lot of people who have shared in the chat. And yeah.
Got just it's less of a question, more of a thought, and just Jade, I think you demonstrated this extremely well during this meeting. In my experience in leadership, what I saw with a lot of leaders was the difficulty to actually show up as a radically honest, with predominantly the fear being that if I'm the leader, I'm supposed to have the answers, I'm supposed to, X, Y, and Z, and you get this perfection mindset that's easy to develop. When in reality, if you can focus on actually being radically honest while still giving clarity on the direction going, almost every time the data shows, and it's pretty unequivocal, that people will listen, people will follow, and people will respect. And it allows you to meet people where they are instead of forcing people to meet where you are. And so I think you demonstrated that extremely well today, Jada, that it doesn't require age, it doesn't require, years and years of experience. It requires honesty to be a leader. And leadership is really just a skillful use of influence. And I think by being the role model and being a leader and actually owning your reality, you send a ripple effect that's far further and goes far further and far more inspirational than any one person could do by trying to be perfect. And again, Jada, I think you demonstrated that well today. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I don't want to, I just want to say to Brian's point, Jada, oof, so many powerful things. I definitely am going to read the book. And yeah, that idea of don't make something new, make something better really stuck out. It's really powerful. And it's this idea really that ISTO has always had all along is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. We're here to support organizations that want to get started, organizations that are interested in outdoor therapy. And we are an information hub for any and all of you. Please reach out to us, ISTO, at any time. And I guess, again, thank you so much, Jada, for taking the time to be vulnerable and creating this safe space. We really appreciate you. 21. I don't even remember 21. There's like 3 of me compared to the 21-year-old that you are, almost times 3. Pretty close, people. Please fill out a survey. As soon as I end this, you're going to get a survey on your browser. It is only 5 questions, but we want to hear from you. We want to learn from you. We want to do better. We have brought back these webinars to connect with the sector, but just to connect with human beings all over the globe. And there are people here from all over the world. Yeah, so please fill out the survey if you've got a moment. It will be sent to your email address if your browser closes out and you don't have an opportunity to do so. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again, everybody. Peace.
I was also wondering, I'm sorry, I know you just
Oh,
concluded
that's great.
the chat. There are a few questions. The name of the book is Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown, for those interested in, purchasing it or looking into it. Chris, is the recording available? Yes. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
thank you for checking those. Yes. Sorry, Danielle, I had said that at the very, very beginning. And yes, recording is going to be up on the ISTO YouTube channel in about an hour and a half. Please go to the ISTO YouTube channel to take a look at the beginning. Super powerful. Dane, I'm so sorry, your camera. Oh, Walk with Sally. Okay, there's so many incredible organizations in the South Bay or in Southern California. And it's so good to see some of our beautiful, beautiful people from the Walk with Sally, Rocco and Cosmo. I miss you. Mwah. That's incredible. Jada, you're getting lots and lots of love. Thank you. Please shout out love in the chat for Jada. I also want to reiterate very quickly, when Jada and I were workshopping this, I was like, Jada, what would you like to talk about? And Jada went to that place that so many of us go to, which is, well, what do people want to hear about? And that was when I encouraged her to be authentic and share fully and wholly who you are. And that's what we want to talk about, because as Jada reminded us from what she learned in the book, in her long 21 years, is that we, when we are asked to speak and step up and to, join the table, that's exactly where we're meant to be and what we all want to hear. So Jada, she literally typed up that little quick bio about being exhausted and being tired and loving it and wanting to feel better. And she did it while we were workshopping, and it was pretty incredible. You have had an extraordinary 21 years, Jada, and I cannot wait for the next 21 plus 21 plus 21 plus 21. Thank you so, so, so much for being there. The book is right here, Christina. Thank you, Christina, board members doing the work for us. She added the book in here, Emergent Strategy. You can click on that. It'll take you right to it. Bravo. Great job.
Thank you. And also
Thanks,
for
everyone.
everything, Loki is huge.
Can you show us Loki before everybody hops off? For those of us who got to meet Loki, where's Loki?
Yes, I will.
Please, or send a
Show us Loki.
picture, Jada.
A pic.
He must be massive.
Show us Loki really quick
He's right next
before we all.
Yes, let us see.
I saw Loki the other day. You won't recognize Loki, let me tell you.
We knew him when.
And that first photo where she had Loki, that was me carrying Loki, and I could not carry Loki anymore.
Oh.
Wait till you see. Loki's bigger than me.
You guys. Okay. You ready?
Loki. Let's see, baby.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Who is this?
Hi, baby.
Who is this?
So big. It's ridiculous. He's like 65 pounds.
Right on.
And he's 8 months
Baby.
as of like 2 days ago.
That's amazing. Will everybody come off of sound really quick and just say goodbye? We'd love to hear your voices.
Yeah, thank you. So good just to even feel and see you guys.
Thank you so much
So
for
much.
Thank
Mwah.
you.
Blessings,
You're welcome.
everybody.
Miss you all, miss you all. Mwah.
Thank
All
you.
All
right.
love to you all.
Thanks, everybody. Jada, great job. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, it was so nice to see everybody after not seeing their faces for months.
Great job, Jada. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Can we save the chat? Because I didn't get the chance to look at all of them.
I don't know how to do this.